All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join me. This is for the U6 and U7s for the upcoming season. And again, if you do have any questions throughout, if you want to put it into the chat, and then I'll read out those questions at the end of the presentation, and then again, open forum at the end to ask any questions that you might be thinking of. So here we go. We're going to get started. So anyway, the first thing I want to do is just acknowledge that the Burnaby Football Club is located on the ancestral and unceded homelands of the Wakima and Squamish-speaking peoples. And just a very brief agenda that we're going to go through some important introductions that you'll learn some faces and certainly exchange a few emails with people at Burnaby FC. Just touch on the club philosophy briefly and talk about volunteering at the club. The kickoff this season, January, is coming up, so we'll talk about that, and then practice times in gyms, and also what to expect on the weekend if you're U6. For those of you that are U7, you may have experienced the Scotiaborn setup already, but those that you haven't, we're here to review that. Okay, and then of course, as I said, plenty of time at the end to ask some questions. So we've got a couple key people that I just want to go over. Like, again, I'm Kevin Julian. For those that you don't know, I'm the technical director at Burnaby FC, overseeing the U5 to U12 age groups that are not high performance at U11, U12, and then from U13 up to U18, the Division 2s and 3s. Again, not so much the high performance, even though I do work closely with the high performance technical director, Lee Tregoning. And again, it's been a pleasure and a privilege to be in Burnaby soccer community for a number of years now. I was at Cliff Avenue for over 13 years, and was very fortunate to strike up a relationship with the late great Tony Waiters that brought me to the club at Cliff Avenue while I was studying at UBC, getting my master's degree in motor learning and focusing on how to apply that to soccer skills. And yeah, I've been very lucky to be around some great people throughout the years, and again, and you as well. Like, so I've actually had the pleasure to see kids at U6 age out the club, which has been pretty special. So I've seen the class of 04 was my first U6 class. So I actually saw the class of 04 go all the way through U18, and then so the class of 2018 and the class of 2017. I'm certainly looking forward to hopefully seeing this group progress all the way through high school and beyond. I actually have a son at the club who's a 2017 born as well, so tend to be around that age group as well. But looking forward to working with the new coaches at U6, and then the two other coaches that you can see here. We've got Kim, who has a big role on the girls' side from U6 to U13, even involved in the high performance at U11, U12, and U13s. And again, Kim brings a wealth of knowledge to the club. She actually has held a technical director's position at Burnaby Girls Soccer Club previously, but in addition to that, she's been head of development. She's coached in provincial programs. She's coached at the Whitecaps. She's coached in post-secondary programs like UBC Okanagan. She's a certified positive psychology practitioner, which is a wonderful attribute to have. And then, of course, her licensing as a certified coach. She's at that national level of youth license and children license, and she's even continuing to go through the national licenses. And we've got Nico as well, who he's been at the club he's been at Burnaby FC since the start, like the rest of us, I suppose. But he was working in Burnaby for a number of years with Cliff Avenue. He's originally from Chile. He's over 20 years of experience coaching in Chile, in New Zealand, in Canada. He's held positions such as director of sports academies. He's a physical conditioning coach. He's a coach educator, like a learning facilitator. He's been a PE teacher. He's got 2 master's degrees in sports training and high performance team training. and as far as his Canadian coach's licenses go, he's got again the highest level at the nationals level of the children's license, the youth license. So very a well rounded group of staff coaches that are here to help you. Okay, so I just want to make sure that make that clear, guys. We're here to help you and make sure that you enjoy your volunteer coaching experience and get the most out of the kids. And what we really want, what we all want, is for the kids to enjoy themselves and to keep playing the game as long as possible. So the couple of the important names and contact information that I want you guys to take note of is that we've got a couple of age group coordinators, and these individuals will be your first point of contact if you need anything. Dare I say, maybe it's like a field question, or like maybe it's a player question within your families, or like I just thinking of an example, if a player on your team schedule changes and all of a sudden they can't make team practices, what can we do as a club to maybe accommodate them at a different team practice? Because we don't want them just to quit based on their availability changing. And that's the sort of question that you'd reach out to the age group coordinator to help you with. And again, going forward, these age group coordinators will have a big role in building teams going forward. So like whether it's player requests from parents in future seasons, these are the individuals that you'd be reaching out to, and coaching again in the future as well. So and again, on the boys' side, we've got Brett Whitehead, and on the girls' side, we've got Abigail, and again, both bring a wealth of knowledge and experience in organizing in grassroots football there. And just want to quickly review the club's philosophy. Okay, and Burnaby SC, basically, we've been created out of, as I'm sure you're aware, of the amalgamation of 5 different clubs, and we thought it was very important for us to make sure that all our values and aligned. Okay, and that really is that we want to create leaders and a community through sport. Okay, we're going to bring together a comprehensive technical and operating infrastructure. Okay, so what that means really is that we want to be administratively fantastic as well as technically the best in class here. So I'm just going to mute someone real quick. Oh, there we go. So the lesson plans that are provided to you, again, those are designed by nationally certified coaches, and they're provided to help you, so you don't have to spend too much time going through the internet or anything like that of trying to find out what you want to do with your team on the week. It is provided absolutely for you. And again, we want to make sure that yourselves, the parents, the players, everyone has got a good experience at the club. So yeah, we just want to be not just one of the best in the Lower Mainland, but we are striving to be one of the best clubs in the country. Okay, so that's some of the things that you might have already experienced as far as communication goes from the club, is that we do need every coach to be certified, that we'll touch on in a bit, to be at a level that the age group they're working with. We don't let anyone close to kids that hasn't had their CRC done and checked off, right? Other things that we want to do, we provide all the equipment for you guys. Like if you shouldn't have to, volunteer coaches shouldn't have to go, spend money on getting cones and balls and all that stuff and bibs, right? We want to make sure that you're provided with all the tools to run a good practice, to run a good season. Okay. And then it's just our mission is really to be leaders in creating an exceptional football experience. Okay. And that first one about teamwork, that we're all one team, I think more than anything at this U6-U7 level, is that it's so easy to demonstrate that right from the get-go, because it's such a tight-knit group and a small location in the indoor facility on the weekends. Like if your team is short a few players and the other team's got everyone there, like we just mix and match on the day. Like we just move kids around as we need, just so that the kids can experience different teammates, and more than anything, just get more playing time than just sitting down and waiting for their turn to play. Okay, we'll always put the kids first and athletes second, and then like that's, and what that really means that we're looking at the person. Okay, that the people, not so much we're so focused on them becoming better athletes, but we really want to make them to become better people. And some of the things that we can really start to ingrain into the kids at this young age is just, we want the players to say hello to the coaches upon arrival. Okay, and that's something that you'll hear me and the other staff coaches when we have parents meetings, is that's the first thing that we want them to do. And if the parents need to reinforce that message, or that they, the first thing they're doing is saying hello to the coaches, and the last thing they're doing, they should be saying thank you to you, because again, it's that sign of respect there, and those life skills of just having good manners and introducing yourself and being confident enough to look someone in the eye and shake someone's hand. Those are life skills that are going to transfer as they get older. But again, it can start as young as 5 years old. Okay. Building that legacy beyond the pitch, that community, is that we do want to, people to be familiar with each other, because you're likely going to see the same faces every single weekend for the next foreseeable future, right? So we would love for everyone, all coaches, to get to know their co-coaches in the birth year, because you're working together. We're the team, if that makes sense to everyone. Is that, whether or not you're U6 team 5 and you're playing against U6 team 7, like those coaches, they're the team working together to provide a positive experience for those players, all the players, right? So that's one thing that we want to, that sense of community and that sense of pride, that club pride that we want to establish. And then again, just demonstrating that we've got some integrity, and that when we say that we want to be the best in Canada, or one of the best clubs in Canada, that that we're making steps and we're demonstrating things that shows that we do mean business there. Okay. And again, I can't go any further than actually thanking everyone on this call for volunteering at the club, because I mean it's a pretty obvious statement, but without volunteers, the kids don't have anywhere to play. Okay. And in years past, not so much this year, the U6 and U7s, we haven't had to turn anything away. But I know that at Cliff Avenue, on personal experience, that there were times in these young age groups, U6 and U7, that haven't been able to field what would have been an entire team, over 10 kids, because we couldn't find an additional, 2 volunteers. And then that's, it's a pretty sad story that kids want to play but are unable to play. So again, just thank you everyone for putting your hand up and saying that you will volunteer to coach the kids. And again, I'm just repeating myself here, but the senior staff coaches are here to make sure that you have an enjoyable experience coaching, and that we're all in it to make sure that the kids stay in the game as long as possible, pick up those important life skills that develop through organized sport, organized team sport. But again, thanks again for everyone for volunteering. And I think this is dare I say, a pressing bit of information, because the kickoff the season jamboree is this weekend. All right, and it's going to be a wonderful event. It's actually quite exciting to have it at Bunnyby Lake West, because it's a wonderful sports facility, and we don't get 5- and 6-year-olds playing on these turf fields very often. It's a very special occasion that this is being allowed to happen. And you'll all have received the team schedule. I've put the highlights on the slide here, but you should have access to, when and where your team is playing. And so what you highly recommend you doing, okay, is via your team snap, is reaching out to the parents and saying that, we're meeting at 9:30 in the main plaza, next to field 3. I'm going to introduce myself as a coach, and we're going to hand out the uniforms, and then we'll be all ready to go for 10 o'clock when we go on the field. And and that way it's a bit, you get as much time playing than opposed to getting kids in uniforms on the day. So field 4, there's actually a warm-up area that would probably be a really good idea to meet up, to distribute uniforms. It's just on the south end of field 4. It's not listed here, but you can kind of see behind that goal there. But again, like main plaza is always a good spot to meet up. The warm-up area, it's where the bouncy castles are going to be for the events. But again, another real simple place to tell families, let's meet at this place to hand out the uniforms. You'll hand out them both, and then what you'll do is you'll have half your team in black, half your team in white, and you're just you're putting your kids into 2 teams, and you're off you go when you're playing. Okay, so just like a 3v3 event for the kids, and more than anything, it's getting to try to introduce. You're starting up the jamboree with the name game. Everyone's introducing themselves. It really is an icebreaker with an event attached to it, because after you've done your time slot, then you've got plenty of things to do, whether it's face painting, tattoos, the bouncy castle. There's food on location. There's snow cones. There's a lot going on at this event. But and then one thing that I should mention as well is that when you do arrive, that you go to the field house, which is circled here on the diagram, just to pick up your team's individual goodie bag, and then you'll hand out a few items to each player at the end of the event. Like there's a few Burnaby FC items, but again, just that the kids will enjoy. But again, if you've got any questions about the jamboree, we can address them at the end. Moving on to what to expect at the U6 and U7 school gym practices. I guess there's probably no surprises that kids are to wear like flat, non-marking indoor shoes. I know the first practice I had last year at U6 with my son, we had a boy come with cleats on, and he obviously couldn't play that first practice, because you can't be wearing cleats inside on a gym floor. It's just you're like Bambi on ice skates. You're just slipping around and damaging the floor. So that's, again, important information that you'll want to pass on to your parents, that they do have to wear flat shoes in the gyms. We are working towards getting pug nets into the gyms, so you've got some mini goals. A lot of school gyms do have hockey nets as well. You can also use benches flipped on the side. If you do have pug nets from previous teams, you can use those. But for those that are certainly U6 and new to coaching, you will not have received pug nets this year, because again, our intention is that they're just going to be stored on location to remove some of the burden that coaches have of lugging equipment around all over the place. Again, what I would encourage, good habits, responsibility for kids. Don't forget your water bottle. Families are not supposed to be walking or wandering around the schools, so you can't just rely on the school water fountain, because you're not meant to be walking around the corridors. Something very important that we relay to the parents, but again, as coaches, I would, just in case it needs reminding to anybody, is that practices is not like a babysitting service. All right, a parent has to stay and watch their child, or they've assigned another parent to make sure that they're looking after a kid in their absence. Because you can imagine, if one kid says, I've got to go to the bathroom, like one coach is not going to leave and have 10 of the kids unattended in the gymnasium, right? So parents do have to stay at practices for U6 and U7s. Very important that practices start on time and end on time, because more than likely there's going to be someone coming in after you, because the U6, U7's got the early time slot. There's going to be another group of people coming in after. So what you'll find in our practice design is that, you've essentially got a warm-up, 1 or 2 activities, and then the last 15, 20 minutes essentially is like the numbers game, which is explained. And that's just, 1v1s and 2v2s for a good 15, 20 minutes there. There are some schools that have got like blackout dates usually because they've got gymnastic equipment laid down on the gym floor. So on those dates, the gym might be unavailable for a week or two. Whatever school you've requested will make those who have those blackout dates will be informed what those dates are. And then, of course, we'll try to find another alternative for those 1 or 2 weeks. Likely the same night, but it would have to be a different location while the gymnastic equipment is on the gym floor. As I mentioned, the practice plans are all laid out for you. Highly recommend just, following the curriculum, but at the same time, you as a coach have always got to, read the room. And if something's not working, what's the plan? What's in your mind that you're going to go to save the practice going completely downhill, right? So it might be, like if you slowly find out that the kids love, a game of tag, maybe that's what you got to do for a few minutes, but to get back on track before you get into the numbers game. But again, I would recommend that, like if you're trying anything new, realistic expectations on what to expect of a successful practice might be, because no one's gonna get the first time with a bunch of 5 and 6 year olds. Okay, even like professional coaches, like 5 and 6 year olds, they show something for the first time. It's not going to be perfect the first time. You might have to do the same thing 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and then you can move on. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Okay, if the kids are enjoying it and they're getting lots of touches on the ball and they're moving around, then more than likely it's a very good practice. Everyone should be set up with Team Snap. And again, it's so important that you as coaches communicate using Team Snap. And I mean, and on the other foot as well, it's important that the parents are communicating with you, which they've been told that, if they're missing practice, then they need to be letting coaches know, because it will have an impact on how you do your practice design. And maybe it determines what activities you're doing based on, have I got the whole group? I've only got half the group. Have I got an even number, an odd number? Okay, so all the information is very important. And if you relay that to your parents at like your parents' meeting and uniform given out, then I think setting those standards early will only serve you well for the rest of the season. Okay, let's have a look here. So the U6s, you're essentially doing the same thing back to back. So in your school gym, you'll do a lesson plan, and then you'll do this exact same lesson plan on the weekend in Scotiaborn. Okay, likely a bit longer in numbers game, and you do your numbers game with the team that's assigned you to play against. And I use it little air quotations there, because if I'm team 1 and I'm and I'm playing against team 2, I'll do my practice for the half of the session, and then I will interlock with team number 2 and play the numbers game. There will be staff coaches on location to make sure everything's running smoothly. But again, knowing in advance that for U6s, it's not necessarily a full-blown game right out the traps, starting at U6, because what we want to do is we want to make sure those kids get the dynamic movements, the functional movements, get some agility, coordination, going, comfort with the ball, before we start adding an opponent into the mix. But there will be plenty of time for 1v1s and 2v2s and going up into even 3v3s. But just so everyone's aware, it's not every week is not a game on the weekends for the U6s. There will be numerous 2v2 jamborees throughout the year, which is you arrive, your team warms up, and then we break up into small groups, and that is itself a 2v2 game throughout that session there. The U7s, slightly different, but you'll do your practice during the week in a school gym, and then on the weekends you're going to be playing 3v3. There are no goalkeepers. Again, the nets that you're using aren't that big, and if you do have a player that does tend to sit back and stand in front of the goal. Just encourage them to get forward when your team is going forward. Right, you kind of want to get them over the halfway line if you could. And then whenever there's no corner kicks, or we won't do kickoffs from the center. We do want to keep the ball rolling as much as possible. But what we and so if the ball is going to go out of bounds, I mean, there is walls on one side of the field, and we kind of use parents to kind of act as a wall in the middle of the field. Like, we're just kind of keep the ball in play as much as we possibly can. But if the ball does hit the back of the net, there's a netting in Scotiaborn that we do stop the game there, because what could happen is that kids could get tangled up, and fingers could get caught in the net, ankles could get caught in the net. So we do stop the game, and we start with a goal kick, which essentially is kids make a triangle, everyone touches the ball, and the game is on, while the other team has retreated back to their own goal. Everyone should have their official Burnaby FC training top and jacket. So we do ask that you wear that on match days and at training. If you haven't picked up your equipment, make sure that you're reaching out quickly, because if you've not picked up your coaching shirt, that means you haven't picked up your jerseys, and the jerseys will be needed for the Jamboree, which is on Saturday. Okay, so please do reach out if that's a concern. So as you can tell, like, we'll have 3 fields set up in the Catalan Scotiaborn. Okay, so the fields are divided by this mesh net, okay, that kind of divides the fields into thirds. Okay, and I hope everyone makes a note of this, because it usually gets asked every single week. It's like, which is field 1, which is field 2, which is field 3. Okay, so I mean, field 2 is pretty obvious. It's the one in the middle. Okay, but so field 1 is by the bleachers, and field 3 is the one that's under the electronic scoreboard on the field there. Okay, so what will happen is that you're assigned a field, and your opponents will be on the other half of the field. And then after your warm-up is finished, for the U7s, you'll get into the U3v3s, and for the U6s, after you finish your activity, then you'll get into the numbers game and play the group there. I really do find that after the 1 or 2 weeks, not only are the coaches flying, but the players know what's going on as well. So it just takes a little bit of time, but not too long. And then this is just a quick little view of what you can see with like a 2v2 Jamboree for the U6s would be. We fit another field in, and the reason why we do that is just so that we've got as many kids as possible playing. Okay, and it is in bold about the 2018 being one big team, but I mean, it's same applies for the 2017s. Okay, like if any team is short players, we just move players around as needed. If there's one team that, for whatever reason, like they're just having a tough time and they're conceding lots of goals, then really we just move players around. There's no benefit. And again, like, if you just think about how things would play out in the school playground, like if there was a bunch of kids playing at school playing sport and one team was stacked, the kids themselves would self-regulate and say, right, well, the 2 of the strongest players are on that team, one of you got to go on the other team. And that's just something that the kids would do. But, like in this environment, the expectation is that the coaches are going to address it. There's no benefit for anyone, really. For the team that's getting smashed and the team that's, running up the score, just, make the simple adjustment and divide up a couple of the strong players, and it'll be much more enjoyable for everybody. Even though the like on the schedule, which is coming out soon, we'll have like the first team listed as the home team, and the second team listed as the away team. Always just tell your parents to bring both shirts for this exact reason. We might have to mix up teams based on who's there. So, they might, if your team's listed 1 against 2, team 1, you're wearing black, team 2, you're wearing white, but just have everyone just bring both shirts, and it'll save, a bit of unnecessary chaos if we do need to rebalance some teams. Again, this is just a repetition from earlier, guys, but again, myself, the age group coordinators, Coach Nico, Coach Kim, we're here to make sure that you are enjoying coaching, that you feel that you're supported, be it with the technical curriculums, the lesson plans on match days, if there's a situation that you just need any sort of help with, just reach out, because we've probably seen it before. You know, we've been doing it a long time, so we know, you know, there's probably no surprises at this point on how to work with maybe a situation that you might find challenging, because we've probably all seen it before. And I just mentioned these coaching certifications again. So at U6, the course is called Active Start, and at U7 it's Fundamentals. These online courses, everyone, they take approximately 2 hours, but it really is good information. Okay, it will help you have an enjoyable season. And so if you haven't completed part 1 yet, you know, reach out to me and I will pass on a code and instructions on how to access the course without having to pay for it. And then part 2, we actually unfortunately had to cancel the Active Start that was due to be tomorrow, actually, but we had to cancel it because there wasn't enough coaches registered. But we will be doing that course again probably in the new year. And then the September 16th course, it will go ahead because we've already got enough coaches on it, and there's still some space available. So again, highly recommend, if you've not reached out, please reach out quickly so we can try to get you on that fundamentals course. And the fundamentals course is actually good for U7 and U8. So if you get it, you'll get it done now, and you're good for next year as well. All right, and there we have it. That's the Q&A there. I'm gonna see if I can get the chat up here. Does anyone ask any questions in the chat? Where is it? There it is. Oh no! Oh, here we go. Here we go. Is the BFC Clubhouse for U7 on September 16th a different course or just fundamentals reoffered? The course on September 16th is just the fundamentals. It is just the fundamentals course. If that's answering your question. And then Lauren, you've got your hand up. Well, do you want to unmute?
Yes, thank you. I don't think myself or the other coach has received information about picking up the equipment or the coach's outfit. Who can we contact about that?
Lauren, I'm going to reach out to you actually, because I know we've exchanged a few emails. Okay. At this point, what day is today? Today's Tuesday. Let me contact. Let's take this offline. I'll figure out the best thing for us to do for this. I mean, there's not too many boxes left, and maybe we just bring it straight to the jamboree and we hand it out. We give it to you early there. I'm not sure, but we'll talk about how we can get you the uniforms for sure. Because you got uniform, okay. You got no uniforms, probably no coach's bag either, right? Nothing.
No, okay. Nothing.
Do you know what, off the top here, do you know what team number you are, Lauren?
Coach Pete's on the call too. Do you remember what team number we are?
Yeah, we're team 8.
Team 8. Okay.
U7 boys, team 8.
Right,
we have no coaching outfits or kits for the kids.
Okay. Yep. Well, I'll reach out to both you guys and then see if we can make arrangements, because it would be nice if you guys were fully dressed for the jamboree. But then at the same time,
it sounds like a lot of folks on this call are chiming in with the same thing. So I don't know, maybe this age group was missed. We weren't communicated with about this.
I have no idea either.
Seems most of us haven't received the gear.
Well, you receive the gear when you come pick up the uniforms. But if you're not picked up the uniforms, then you wouldn't have received the gear.
Yeah, we haven't received the uniforms. Yeah.
Okay. So is that mostly U6, U7 boys, or a combination?
U7 girls for me.
U7 girls. Right. We'll set up another one there.
Girls also, we didn't receive communication for the gear, neither the equipment.
Okay, U7 girls.
Team 1.
Team 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then U7 girls, there was another U7 girls team in the
Team 2 as well. Yeah.
Team 2. Right.
And sorry, I did have another question.
Yep.
You showed the diagram of what it would look like for 2v2, but for those of us coaching U7 who weren't involved with U6 at all, what would that look like for the game? Like if it's 3v3, is it 2 games or 3 games?
It was the other diagram actually. So there's two fields side by side
Okay.
in each third, and so yeah, the team gets split in half, and half the team goes on one field, other half on the other field. But you stay within that 1/3.
So half the kids are subbing on and off, right?
If everyone shows up, yes. If you got team of if you've got a team of 12, and then
Yep.
3 kids are playing on one field, 3 are resting, 3 kids are playing on the other field, 3 kids are resting. Yes.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to be clear on that. And then in the gymnasiums, where are the parents expected to be? Like, I gather not wandering the halls, that makes sense. But is there room in the gym for them to sit down, or do they just have to stand along the wall?
Typically, they stand along there's usually benches along the wall, but at the same time, almost all these elementary school gyms have a stage that they go up on,
Okay.
and they go up onto the stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. If I think of more questions, I'll
Please.
wait
And
until
that's a good point. If anyone does think, like, even I'll go through these questions that's in the chat here, but if anyone does think of a question, when this meeting is finished, like, let me know, because sometimes, Murphy's Law, as soon as we hang up, oh, I wish I would have asked that question, just reach out, and then we'll answer it for you. So
Sorry, I have a question. We have some from Team 1 U6 girls. The
Yeah.
parents are asking us for the schedule already. Is that something that we need to upload on the Team Snap, or you guys are gonna do that? Or when can we tell them that the schedule is gonna be up?
the schedule should be available. I have to actually I have to connect with the field scheduler today still, because I know it's gonna be worked on over the weekend, but the times are going to be the same. Like I'm gonna just test my memory here. So for the boys, the U7 boys are 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Like that's the U7 boys are always going to be 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, and the U6 boys are always going to be 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. The U7 girls are always going to be 9 o'clock in the morning. They're always going to be 9 a.m. at Scotiabank, and the U6 girls are always going to be 10 o'clock in the morning at Scotiabank. What you'll
That's Sundays?
Sunday?
girls are on Sundays, yeah. Boys are on
Yeah.
Saturdays, girls on Sundays. So the times are always going to be consistent. But what we haven't released yet is, team 1 versus team 2, team 3 versus team 4. That still has to come out, which will come out again, hopefully this week. And as far as uploading the scheduler goes, there will be a message from the club's Team Snap, or to like a team manager or a team coach on how to do it.
Okay, and sorry, one more question.
Yeah.
For the practice, for example, I think you emailed us, Leon and I, that our practice for the U6 girls, it's Mondays at Brentwood Elementary. So that's it. That's always gonna be that, right?
Yes, yeah, but again, I don't have it in front of me right now. But if Brentwood Elementary has, like, say, a couple of weeks when they've got gymnastic equipment on the gym floor, the school will be unavailable, and then we will find you another gym for which to practice in, while the gym floor is unavailable.
Okay, and does the practices are gonna start like Monday right away?
After the jamboree. Yes, after the jamboree. So there's no U6 and U7 teams practicing this week, because your first interaction with your team will be at the jamboree on September 9th.
And then Monday, the first practice.
Correct.
Monday the 11th. Okay.
Yeah, Monday the 11th.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, okay, here we go here. Lots of parents looking to understand their practice and game schedules. So, Trevor, can you confirm what team number you are, please? Are you
Team 2 for U7 girls.
U7 girls? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're saying that you haven't confirmed the practice time and location yet?
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to reach out to you directly. Okay, sound good?
Yep.
All right.
Thanks.
How do I find which team I am assigned to? Oh, Jimmy, Jimmy, what's your last name?
YNG, Yang. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jimmy. Do you want to maybe just put it into the chat and I'll make sure I'll reach out to you. And then say, my name is Jimmy, and then I'll just double check which, because if you're receiving the Zoom link to be on the coaches call, you're obviously you're assigned to a team.
Yeah, Jimmy's on team 8, our team. Team
Team
8,
eight.
under 7 boys. He's
U7
listed as
boys.
a coach on ours.
Perfect.
I've been
Okay.
in touch with him through Team Snap, so
Okay, I thought I'm the parent. So, okay, got it. Thanks.
No problem. U7 team, yeah, problem solved. Jimmy, U7 teammate. Mike, will you be sending out the recording? Yes. I'm going to try to get this out as soon as possible, as in most likely tomorrow morning. Do I have it correct that the practice schedule has not been given yet? The coaches, and again, I apologize that this is kind of coming out here, but everyone should have been received an email saying, reach out to confirm your practice time and locations. But again, it seems that because a lot of coaches do have their practice times locations confirmed. But Kevin, what team number are you? And I can reach out to find out what works for you for as far as your practice time and location goes. What team number and age group are you?
Yeah, I'm U7 girls,
Yeah.
team 6.
Team 6. All right. I'll reach out and we can give you some options there, okay?
All right, thanks.
Do kids need to buy soccer cleats for U6, considering the practice just needs running shoes and turf doesn't require cleats? That's a great question, Sean. Like, it's probably a personal preference. Like, you can get away with wearing running shoes on the turf at Canlan 8 rings. Like, sometimes I forget to put my son into his cleats, and it's fine. Like, he wears his running shoes, not a big deal. You can wear cleats on the turf, but by no means would I say it's an absolute requirement. Personal preference. Where do I pick up the coach's gear? So the coach's gear and balls will get picked up at the. Go ahead, Nico. You got a commentary? Everyone, this is Nico for the. I was introducing him earlier.
Yeah.
Senior
Yeah,
staff
no,
coach.
I'm not the person in charge, but I'm coming tomorrow 4 p.m. to the clubhouse. If coaches wanna come between 4 and I have to say like 5:30, I'll be there, so I can give them the coaches gear, the box with the equipment for players.
Perfect. And if again, like, if we'll iron out some, like, so yeah, we'll put that in email to everyone with the 4:30 to 4 to 5:30 tomorrow, but we'll come up with some alternatives as well, to make sure everyone gets their coach's gear and equipment before the jamboree.
Can you put the clubhouse address in the chat?
Absolutely. Well, you know what, Lauren, I'll put the clubhouse address when I send out the recording to everybody, is what I'll do. That's what I'll do. It's just at the north side of the Kensington Ice Arena, kind of by Brindleman North High School. But I will put the clubhouse address into the email I'm going to send everyone. Okay, Justin, myself and my assistant coach have equipment but haven't received the gear, BFC shirts and pants. So when you've picked up the uniforms, you should get like a coach's top and a coach's like jacket. So there's no pants, but when you pick up the uniforms, you should get a shirt. So again, Justin will send out a message of some time that you can pick up the uniforms. And when you pick up your uniforms, you'll also be able to pick up your coaching shirt and your coach's bag and your coach's jacket. I have no gear there. I haven't received my coach's gear. Okay. We got uniforms and equipment, but no coaching kits. Well, that not sure. Like, so yeah. Everyone here gets a coach's shirt and a coach's jacket. So we'll just make sure that we have that available for people that maybe it might have to be at the jamboree if you can't get to the clubhouse between tomorrow or at a date that we can possibly put together between now and Saturday. U6 girls has not received anything. U7 team 6 girls. All right, Kevin, I'll touch base with you regarding the uniforms, but also practice time. Got a few more here. James, you've teams U7 team 5 boys or girls? Just don't have it in front of me here. I'll look it up. That's okay. Oh, when do we find out our practice night? Okay, Sean, I'll reach out to you. Sean, can you just again just confirm what age group you are in boys or girls?
Yes, U6 girls, team 2.
Team 2.
I've gotten everything else. I just didn't know the practice night yet.
Okay, well, I'll
yeah.
reach out to you, and you're telling me what works for you, and then we'll make it work. We'll
Okay,
find
perfect.
something.
Thanks.
Yeah. And John, same for you, John. Just give me a quick U6, U7, you boys or girls. What team number you?
Girls 2017, team 6.
All right. Okay, same thing. I'll reach out to you directly, and we'll just we'll find a spot for you. Peter, would the coach train on the 16th on the Saturday of the league games? So great question there, Peter. If the training conflicts with your game, it is in the best interest to just miss that one game and go to the training. There will be staff coaches on location. We can reach out to the parents prior to September 16th to explain to them, yeah, the coaches won't be here for this particular game. They're on the coaching course, but it will be in the best interest of the players and yourself just to miss that one game, is what I'd say.
And is it, sorry, quick follow-up question. Is it, you said the games were 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. for U7?
Correct.
So if it starts at 10 a.m.,
you should be able to.
Yeah. Is it online?
No, it's at the clubhouse. It's on a patch of grass.
Okay, so it's at the same place as the games are, so I could just go after the game or whatever.
No, the games are at Scotiabank 8 rinks.
Okay.
And the clubhouse is kind of by Burnaby North High School, so it's about a 10-minute drive away, if that.
I see. Okay. And is it super important to be at that training at 10 a.m.? If I'm running from the game?
If you're a few minutes late, it'll be understandable.
I see. Okay, great.
No problem. Who do we contact to have a team manager and a team snap? Great question. You can ask Lisa, which is again, maybe I can add that to the message. I'll say this to the email that when I send out this recording, and she's one of the team snap wizards. So it's team snap inquiry.
Kevin?
Yeah, go ahead, Nico.
At this point, I think it's easier if they contact the age coordinator first. So, and then they can reach out to the specific person. If it's a team snap issue, then the age coordinator is going to contact the specific person. If it's a technical situation, they're going to reach out to the specific person. No,
that's a great point. And then the slide that had the age group coordinator contact information, the emails were on that. So you'll be able to see those emails through the recording as well when we send this out. The PDF made that available. Absolutely. PDF request for the Jamboree layout. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just for coaches and parents here, if your team manager or a specific assistant coach is not on Team Snap, it's because they have to complete the criminal record first. And as soon as we get the criminal record back to the club, we can update Team Snap. So that's why we have some teams with only one coach, no managers, or some team with the manager and not the coaches because we are waiting for the criminal record?
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, Peter, we can add that a PDF before the when it gets distributed. And again, what I'd probably say, guys, is that the easiest thing to do is tell your team to meet at the Jamboree like 30 minutes beforehand. And it would be like, pick a pretty obvious location. Like if you're on field 4, like there's a big warm-up area behind field 4, which would be real easy to make a sign team 3, whatever it is. Alternatively, up top by the field house, there's picnic tables there. Again, you want to hand up the uniforms and kids to be put on the uniforms before going onto the field for the Jamboree, is what I'm saying. How and when are you distributing practice plans? We'll distribute them via email, okay, and we'll distribute them probably like a month's worth of practice plans. So you'll probably get, again, 4 to 6 lesson plans, and it is a guide, everyone. Like I said, like if the activity isn't working, but that the kids are enjoying another activity, and it has like the kids moving around a lot, the kids have got a ball at the feet, they're having fun, then by all means substitute that activity in there as well. But realistic expectations whenever you do introduce a new activity to 5 and 6-year-olds, it's not going to be perfect right off the bat. So you might have to do it once or twice. Okay. And so those lesson plans will be distributed after the Jamboree, and certainly in time for if you practice on Monday, you'll have those lesson plans in time for Monday. We're just trying to time our communications to you so you're not getting too much information, but at the same time I see that some coaches haven't got information on when to pick up the equipment, so I'm going to take a big takeaway there. The games are indoors. Yes, the games are indoors. Games and practice are indoors for the U6s and U7s. Will you be sending out the whole year practice plan before Saturday? It won't be not likely the whole year, but certainly a good month's worth. It won't be before Saturday, most likely on Sunday. But again, if we get it done before Sunday, then you'll have it well in advance. And Leon says, I have all the equipment but no balls. Okay. And again, we'll make sure that when we send out the message of when people can come pick up the uniforms, Leon, you can maybe make a time slot work to pick up soccer balls, because all U6 teams should have got new balls. All U6 teams should have got balls. U7s, like kids did receive a ball last year, so they might not need a new ball. But if any kid doesn't have a ball, let us know so that you can get one for the kid, because every kid does need a ball for practice.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Can I mention something with the soccer balls? Ideally, coaches, if we give you a bag, for example, of 10 balls, try to keep the bag yourself instead of giving each kid one ball right away. Because what happens if they don't come back next year? So then we have to give you again another ball, and then if they lose the ball at home, so then we have to give you again one more. So ideally, have a set of 6, 7, 8 balls for yourself. Bring it to a practice and then bring it back with you. So in that way, we are sure, we make sure that we have enough soccer ball for every practice.
Agreed. And again, Shall, we kind of mentioned this earlier, that connect with the age group coordinator for requesting that the team snap update there. So if you need someone to be added as a manager with team snap access, then the age group coordinator can start that process. U7 Team 7, U7 Team 7. Okay, Justin, I'll reach out to you directly. We can put some times together.
Can I just ask a follow-up about the ball point? Like,
Yep.
if the kids haven't played before, none of them would have a ball to bring. So are we only going to get 8 or 9 in a bag for a team of 12?
No, all U6s should be getting a ball for sure.
But U7, like,
Oh, for U7,
my kid,
like I said, like U7, like take a bag of 8, and if the kids are returning from last season, it's unlikely that no one's on your team that didn't play last year. But
okay,
like if they need a soccer ball, let us know so that we can give you one, because we do want to make sure that every kid has a ball at practice. But
right.
we don't want to, kids have so many soccer balls, and it's like a bit of an environmental footprint at the moment, just look at the amount of balls we're giving out, and they're just gonna get end up in the trash basically. But if we can recycle and reuse the balls that we're giving out every year, then we're doing probably something good for the planet.
Right. Okay, well, maybe tip to the other coaches on the call, if you have your balls in time for the jamboree, maybe bring a big Sharpie so that you can have the parents write their kid's name on their ball. Yeah, just a tip.
Yeah, good idea. All right, U17 5 girls. What are we saying here? Perfect. Are shin guards mandatory? Yes, they are. You want the kids to be wearing shin pads. The kids will get kicked in the shins at U5, sorry, U6, U7. Can we get the whole year sent out like you had for 2017 for U6? Yeah, Mike, I can. I'll certainly work towards that, and just see how many lesson plans we've got available to send out. Just if you prefer to have the whole year, then we can do that. I was just kind of the mind of that. It might be overwhelming to get that many lesson plans off the bat, but if that's the request, we can do that as well. No problem. Confirming that team managers need a CRC. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, everyone needs a CRC done if they're working with the kids. And that is the last question, but if anyone else can think of any, or if there's any question that has been answered but it's still not clear. Okay, let's see if we get the lesson plans out before Saturday. No, do that, Lauren. Everyone, U17-1. I'm not seeing good about picking up gear, but I'm just this to code. Yeah, well, I'll double check to see if it was just the head coaches. Would be nice to maybe just connect with the head coach. Said that. Emma, maybe just connect with the head coach to see if they have picked up the equipment. Okay. Yes, Kevin, well, let's connect again like you should. It's a real simple process. So we'll make sure that you get a CRC completed. It's just you do it online, it doesn't take very long. You Kevin Orta, U7, Team 6, CRC. Perfect. I'll see that. Yes, there are first aid kits included in the equipment bag. Okay. So if you happen to use, the 2 ice packs, hopefully you don't have to use the 2 ice packs, but if you do and you need more ice packs, just let us know and then we'll give you some more. All right. And Emma, okay. Let's go. CJ Lou. U7 boys or girls?
Sorry, that's girls.
Girls, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, look forward to seeing everyone at the everyone on Saturday.
Sorry, one more question. Do you have any thoughts about overflow parking, given that there's like a lot of kids involved in the jamboree and potentially a lot of people for the city of Burnaby, like grand opening of that community center?
Yeah, there's a good point. We actually had discussed that, not on this call, like but previously. The just maybe it's even at the opposite side, the Ben Copeland, because that's kind of closed down, but the parking lot's still available, and then just walking over, through the traffic lights. There will be a lot of turnover as well. Like people do park, they come and they leave, so it's not as if it's going to be people that are there for U6 all the way through till 5 o'clock. But it is going to be quite busy. The other thing to do is parking at Scotiabank, because there were the 8 rinks, like that. There's a lot of parking on there, and that kind of backs onto Burnaby Lake West as well, which is a good option as well.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a team snack set up for coaches in an area range? We haven't, Mike. But it's definitely something that we could look to do. I'll take that offline and we'll see if that's the way to do it, or perhaps we just create a WhatsApp group as well. And we've kind of discussed doing that as well before, because sometimes it's nice to be able to communicate directly with coaches within your age group of share ideas, or just in preparation for a game, just let like the coach know, hey, I know I'm already missing half my team. Just an FYI, it's always nice to prep people in advance. Is Christine Sinclair going to be there? She might make an appearance. She's going to be doing a grand opening for a community center, and then she's hopefully making her way over to Burnaby Lake West. So if you have any Christine Sinclair memorabilia, might not be a bad idea to have on you. I'm sure she'll sign a shirt or two. Like I said, everyone, like if you do think of something that when the call's finished, by all means reach out. My next step's really just going to follow up with those teams that said they were never contacted for pickup times or gym locations. But I'll also be sending out this video once it's recorded, and including some times that you could come and pick up your uniforms if you need to. And then, of course, we'll see everyone at the Jamboree on Saturday. Are we going to have a coaches game this season? I hope so. Yeah, we'll try to maybe have a coaches get together around Christmas time. It'll be great to have you out, David. It'll be great to have you out. Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks, Lisa. What have you just put in the chat there? What is it?
Sorry, I had to unmute. I just put the coaching requirements document in the chat. It has the link to the CRC along with the code.
Oh, perfect. Well, there you have it, everyone. If you're looking for a CRC, that's the link to go to. And for those of you who don't know, that's Lisa. She does a lot of great work at the club there. And she's got a daughter in the 2018 birth year. So there we have it. And coaching. Okay, everyone. Well, I'll stop. We'll hold it there. And like I said, if you do think of anything else, don't hesitate to ask by reaching out to me directly, or reaching out to the age group coordinators directly. And we'll see everyone on Saturday. Have a great night, everyone.